Hey, what's up, everybody? CM here with the Common Sense Perspective here. 'Cause I'm on an agenda here to bring back common sense because we all know that in this day and age, common sense ain't so common. So I wanted to bring into the latest in the news here. This caught my attention the other day because I was just like, a 49er got shot in San Francisco, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. So I looked into it here, and we have this, right? So the 49ers draft pick, Ricky Pearsall, all right, he got drafted earlier this year for the 49ers, and he was shopping around Union Square in San Francisco. So you guys don't know Union Square. It's a big shopping area in San Francisco, big name stores and all that, and it's an attraction. People go there shopping, and it's a destination spot for sure when it comes to eating, shopping, hanging out. It's a nice area and lots of like brand name stores, everything that you know of is there. But over the years, as time went on, with let's just say in the last 10 years, ever since was it Prop 47 passed, when they decided to get soft on crime and all that stuff and raised the felony of things like shoplifting to $950. And it's not total, it's per theft. So, for example, I go rob Neiman Macy's here, right? And if it's under 950 bucks, all right, catch and release, boom, you get a ticket, show up in court. I could go back out again that day or the next day and go to Neiman Marcus and shoplift and take $950 worth of stuff. And again, if it's under 950 bucks, okay, if they catch me, cool. Here's a ticket, show up in court. And so you could just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And then you wonder why theft is up in San Francisco, even though they say crime is down, right? But we all know that crime is not down. It's underreported because police, one, doesn't do anything about it. Two, they can't do anything about it because they're hamstrung by stupid laws and policies of the liberal cities, liberal progressive cities like San Francisco, and can't do anything. All right, so what happens over time? Stores will close because they can't continue to take on the what they call shrink, right? Loss of money because of factors such as theft, right? And they close up shop and go on, right? So if you look at Union Square in general, it's a shell of what it used to be. I haven't been to Union Square in years, um, but it was a place to go. When I went to Union Square, I would just hang out and stuff because it's just an area you could just. It's a short walk from other places like the San Francisco City Center, which is the mall. They have a parking garage right next to that. I used to always park at the parking garage, go to the mall or go shop around Market Street, and then come on over to Union Square because they're just blocks from each other. It's easy. It's an easy walk. And so over time, though, they just let this shit go. Like politicians just let all this shit go. And then you wonder why all these hotels and businesses close up shop. And it's just shit. Right, man? I remember there was a time uh, I wanted. One of my first applications in law enforcement was to, and I applied to SFPD because I loved the city back then. When, SF State was my alma mater, graduated from SF State. I loved the city back then. My favorite teams, the San Francisco 49ers and San Francisco Giants. My favorite teams, and they still are. They're still my favorite teams. But the problem is, San Francisco is no longer the place to go. It's just, it's a second dumpster fire behind Oakland. Oakland is a straight up dump. All right. Um, San Francisco is becoming that way. You look at businesses, They're near 40% vacancy in commercial real estate business in San Francisco. Think about that. 40% is vacant property of commercial property in San Francisco. That's big. That's huge. All right, and it's just going to continue to get bigger and bigger because of the stupid policy. So I know I got a little bit sidetracked on the whole idea of what I was talking about here. So Pearsall, whatever, was in Union Square, all right, and I mean, granted, I mean, if you're a guy walking around with a Rolex watch, you're almost putting a target on yourself, right? So this is where he was walking with this Rolex watch on his wrist, and he got confronted by some kid, all right, and the kid put a gun on him, and said, "Give me your watch." And so this, Pearsall is not a small guy. He's like 6'2", I think 6'3", right? Say, punk ass kid, you're not gonna take my watch. So they struggled, and kid pulled out a gun, shot him in the chest, right? And so that's what happened here. You got a gunshot wound to the chest. Entered Pearsall's chest and exited his back without hitting any vital organs. It's crazy thinking about that. And so with that, it's just crazy. But then the struggle, somehow the kid ended up shooting himself because he ended up getting a gunshot wound to himself. They probably because they were struggling with the gun. Kid fired off a gun on his chest. They were still struggling on the gun, and somehow it fired off on the kid, so they were both down. You know what I'm saying? So it says right here, Pearsall was shot after a struggle for the gun with the suspect who was allegedly attempting to steal the Rolex watch as he was going to a signing event. The suspect who was in custody was reportedly shot through the chest and was in stable condition as well. So they both got gunshot wounds to the chest, which is crazy. Mayor London Breed and Police Chief William Scott both posted statements confirming and reacting to the news, which comes at a time when San Francisco crime is at a contentious issue, because they're saying year-to-year data shows robbery is down 22%. But again, robbery, theft, everything that's reported is underreported because with the policies and laws in place, the police can't do nothing about it because the district attorney doesn't do nothing about it because when you look at all that, it's just a soft on crime situation, soft on thugs, soft on everything, and so they get away with everything, and that's why San Francisco's in the shit, right? So because of something like this, all right, now all of a sudden the San Francisco DA says that they will have charges filed in juvenile court this time. Oh yeah, so it has to take something like this to even file charges on this kid. All right, and which is stupid, because if you were to prosecute all crimes, crime would be down as a whole, but crime is underreported, crime is up. It's just underreported. And there's no way to turn that around except to continue the erosion of real estate in San Francisco. When people leave, businesses leave, everything closes up. When you see more and more of the homeless on the streets doing their open air drugs, when you see this type of thing going on, right? The Cash App CEO stabbed to death, gunshot wound to a 49er. You need to see more stuff like this in order for true reaction to really happen. But when you don't allow things to happen, you don't allow police to do the work, how can you solve any problems that exist? Like, I don't even. I used to love going to San Francisco. I don't even bother to go to San Francisco anymore. I haven't gone to San Francisco. I can't even remember the last time. Maybe a couple years. It's maybe a couple years at best. But I tend, if anything, I tend to drive by San Francisco, which is something I always. I mean, I used to love driving by it just to see it and go into it. But now it's like I don't even bother San Francisco anymore. It's like, what's the point? It's a dump. And the only reason why London Breed's doing things now in San Francisco is because it's re-election season time, and she's trying to be re-elected. So she's trying to act like she's doing something now, when the last couple years she's been mayor. She really hasn't been doing anything except letting all these things happen and acting like they're doing things in San Francisco. Like when they had the convention coming to town, right? You had homeless everywhere. But no, Gavin Newsom comes in, does a cleanup job, just so it makes it look clean around the area of the convention, right? And it wasn't a convention; it was the meeting with the China president, right? And of course, you had Democrats that came in, to shake hands and all that stuff. You had to look good, right? Then after that, after they left, got to be like a week later, and all the homeless sprouted out and about again. I mean, supposedly now Gavin Newsom's going around trying to tell the cities to clean up because he lost his bid to be president of the United States, or at least trying to run it, because it's he lost it because everybody can see how terrible California is, and it just continues to be terrible. Doesn't look good on the resume to become president. That's why he lost his ability to run, even though he marked out and kissed so much ass to Biden. All right, marking out for him, but he still got sidestepped for Kamala, who's just as worse, or could be worse than Gavin. I mean, you look either way, it's a losing situation. They're both terrible. But yeah, so with that, yeah, San Francisco's a dump, and I hate to say that because I used to love San Francisco. All right, and I wanted to work there for SFPD. Graduated there. I love the ball teams. Shit, they don't they don't even do Spartan races out there anymore. They used to do at least one Spartan race every year at the San Francisco ballpark. And I would do it just because it would be a fun thing to do. But they haven't had a Spartan race there. Shit, I don't know how long. Got to be at least 3-4 years, maybe even 5 years. Because the last time I ran a San Francisco Spartan race was back in 2019. 2020 they canceled all Spartan races. 2021 they had limited. Locations because of COVID still. It was like COVID overspill. 2022 they brought it back, but I don't even think they had it there in San Francisco. And even in 2023 last year, they didn't even have San Francisco as a location to have a Spartan race, right? And I don't even think they have it listed this year as a place to go again to have a Spartan race. So that tells you something too, that they don't even have events there anymore to do things like Spartan race because it's so shitty. And you got to worry about theft and all that stuff, and break-ins, and that's sad. That you can't even go somewhere and worry about shit. You can't even go shopping and get worried about getting walked up to by some punk kid and pull out a gun just to take your watch. And then in LA for example, they tell people, hey, if you're gonna walk around, don't show off your Rolex watch. It's like, so you're telling me that you can't just walk freely in society without fear of getting, hit by a gun or somebody to rob you? You can't drive in your nice car because someone might target you. That's just sad how everything is, all right? And that just shows you how terrible California is and how terrible Democrats and progressives are. And if you guys want more of that, it all boils down to the same thing. Go ahead and vote for Kamala as president, and then you'll see that that's what you get. You get what you voted for. That's what you're going to get. That's what you got in San Francisco. That's what you got in California. All these liberal big cities is what you're getting because that's what you vote for. All right, go ahead and vote for all that stuff because if it's a feel good, happy go lucky, type of vibe that they're giving off, but yet terrible policies, right? So we're going to be seeing. You think this is the end, right? That they're going to be, this is just something that it's just a one-time thing. It just happened to be a 49 that got shot, right? No, this stuff happens a lot, and it's going to continue to happen. Why? So we're going to see more of these type of things in due time because it's not going to change anything that's going on in San Francisco right now. It's just going to continue to be, party on, people, continue the trends of what everything's going on because nothing's going to change at city level. You got to change it at government level when it comes to policies and progressives and getting rid of them and the laws and all that stuff. So with that, it just sucks to see this, And I'm willing to bet, even though they're going to prosecute the kid for pulling a gun and gunshot wound, boom, 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 I'm willing to bet there's going to be some deal cut and some soft bullshit. Kid gets released on some sort of probation, some bullshit, right? It's going to create an uproar in the news, that that's all he's going to get, right? And then nothing happens because you guys won't do anything about it. You still vote for the same people that put out these terrible policies, and nothing's going to change. So yeah, if you want to make change, you got to vote the other way if you want change to happen, because Democrats, if you continue to vote for them, they're just going to just continue with the terrible policies, right? Right now, they're all doing this whole bait and switch tactic, right? You look at Kamala, you look at London Breed in San Francisco, for example, they're just all of a sudden they want to do something about stuff when for the last few years they haven't done anything whatsoever to help people, benefit people, except tear people apart and create problems because they want to be soft on everything. Well, that's what's going to happen because they're just acting like they're going to want to do stuff come election time, and then once they get re-voted back in, because you guys are idiots, you guys will vote them back in, then next thing you know, they're just going to continue with the same bullshit. All right. So with that, we wish Ricky Pearsall a speedy recovery because I think he'll have a speedy recovery because it doesn't look like it's a wound. A gunshot is serious stuff, but it doesn't look like it's for sure. You see here, it's not life-threatening. It went out the chest and out through the back, and he's an athlete, so being that he's an athlete, you tend to heal nicely and fast, because you keep yourself in good shape and everything, and yeah, we'll see how quickly he get back on the field. So with that, that's the latest here. I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. What do you guys think about that? Let me know what you think. Subscribe. All right, as I put out daily content on just stuff to talk about, my thoughts on it, and I want to see what you guys think about on this stuff. And other than that, like I subscribe to the bell icon. I like to put out stuff daily on just these things that are occurring, and hopefully common sense will wake people up, that things are happening here and we cannot make change happen until we stand up and do something, make a difference. All right, other than that, I just want to say thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.